Hey guys, Happy New Year, and this is the first video I'm making in 2025. And if you have the Sonos Arc, the original one that was launched in the June of 2020, you may be sitting on a soundbar that is closing in on 5 years. So if you have the original Sonos Arc and are considering whether you should upgrade to the Sonos Arc Ultra, let's deep dive into that today and see what decision points you can make to upgrade the sound that you're getting from your almost 5 years old soundbar. So it's been a slow start to 2025. There are no new updates on the Sonos S2 app, but there is actually a firmware update. So if you check your app, I think on the 8th of January, they actually released a new player firmware update. So this time round, like the previous time, it actually went through very smoothly. It hasn't happened for years, but with the recent app changes and with the recent updates that Sonos has been making, the update actually went through smoothly one try without a retry. Not everybody has the same experience. As I'm reading on Reddit, I understand that, but this update, it didn't bring any significant sound profile changes. Everything updates properly, and I would say that it is good to go. I did not detect any changes at all. So most of the changes, I believe, Keith from Sonos actually mentioned that it was an update, some bug fixes, of course, and an update to the Control 4 system. So for system integrators, maybe there are some changes, but for most of us, we won't actually see any changes. Now, in 2025, we are probably 2 or 3 months out from a new product release. The next product launch would most likely be a new product category in the form of a TV streamer. I don't have much information now. The moment I have it, I will share it with you guys. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. So back to the Sonos Arc. If you have the original Sonos Arc 1, not the Arc Ultra, you're likely to be sitting on a soundbar that is aging, which is 4, maybe going on 5 years old right now. Now, it will easily last you another 5 to 7 years, given how Sonos products has been supported in the past, right? But things may change. I don't know. You can easily be happy with it. But if you want more bass, what do you do if you're still holding on to the original Sonos Arc Gen 1? Now, basically, there are a few things that you can do, and I think there are 5 things. Let's go on to the first. The first is you can spend nothing, do nothing. Basically, if you want more bass, just slide the EQ for the bass up a little bit. Don't overdo it, and you'll get slightly more bass out of your Sonos Arc. Now, I have a best setting video, which I've done a while back. You can refer to that video. I'm probably going to link it right up here. So the second thing that you can do if you want a little bit more bass, you can actually upgrade from the Arc Gen 1 to the Arc Ultra. Now, the old original Arc Gen 1, you can put it up for sale. You probably get about $500 in Singapore. You may get about $700 out of it. Then you top up the difference. So the new Arc Ultra is going to cost about $1,000. So you are going to be out of pocket $500. You will get slightly better bass because of the sound motion unit. This is the sound motion unit that is built into the Arc Ultra. And well, it won't be subwoofer level kind of bass, but you will get better bass. And if you refer to my previous videos, you will see that, wow, actually the Arc Ultra almost has too much bass on its own. And in my best settings video, I actually have to tune it down just a little bit. So that's the second thing you can do, upgrade from the Arc Gen 1 to the Arc Ultra. But if you don't want to do that, there are a few things you can do to get more bass, right? So if you want a good dose of ultra low bass, you could opt for the Sub Mini. Now the Sub Mini is tremendous value. It's $429 less than the amount, the capital outlay you're going to put out by upgrading from the Arc Gen 1 to the Arc Ultra. The Sub Mini will add quite a good dose of ultra low bass to your Sonos Arc, and you will be happy with it for a very, very long time. Definitely, it's going to put out a lot more bass from upgrading from Arc Gen 1 to the Arc Ultra. The Sub Mini can also be deployed in other speakers if you have other Sonos speakers at home. So the Sub Mini will probably be my best recommendation for those of you who don't have a Sub and are holding on to the Sonos Arc Gen 1 at the moment. Now, if you really want a good amount, a huge amount of extra bass, you could go for the new Sub Gen 4. Well, actually they rename it, they left out the Gen, so it's just the Sub 4 right now, and that will cost you about $800. It is in a matte finish, so it will fit your Arc Gen 1 pretty well as opposed to the Gen 1, 2, 3 of the Sub, which has a glossy finish. Now, if you're interested in that, I've also posted a video of the Sub Gen 4, and you can refer to that video right here. So for most of us out here, I would say that this 3 recommendation is probably good enough, but if you really want a lot of bass, or if you have a huge room, huge open area to cover, you might want to have a pair of the subs. So for the Arc, you can actually pair a Sub Gen 3 or a Sub 4 with a Sub 1, Sub 2. So you do need at least a Sub Gen 3 in order to pair dual subs for your setup. Now this will literally give you too much bass. In fact, I do have two. In fact, I have 3 subs at home right now, and I don't even pair them in dual sub setup because there's simply too much bass for any rooms that I have in my house. My rooms aren't that big, so if you do have a wide space to cover, then maybe, yeah, dual sub will work for you. But if you're gonna be doing that, you're gonna spend $800 on each sub. Granted, you can pair it with a older Gen 3 sub and save yourself a bit of money, especially if you buy it used. But I would say that $1,600 for a pair of Sub 4s is probably not money very well spent. You're probably better off putting the cost of the second sub for a pair of ERA 300. If you have the original Arc Gen 1 and if you do not have surround sound yet, get a pair of ERA 300, which will offer another pair of rear upward firing speakers for a complete Atmos effect, in addition to adding the surround channel. Now the Arc on its own does throw out a convincing surround stage, but nothing beats having actual physical speakers at the rear of your room. And the ERA 300 has upward firing speakers that will really complete the Atmos bubble. So these are the 5 recommendations that I have for you if you are still holding on to an original Sonos Arc Gen 1. So if you have some money to spend, these are the kind of things that you can do. Well, actually, the first suggestion doesn't even require any money. Just open up the app and increase the bass slider. Now, when it comes to the surround sound, I just have to bring special attention. If you are on the Sonos Arc Gen 1, yes, you can pair up with even the Play 1s and the Play 3s from a decade ago, right? And most of the symphonic speakers will actually work. Now, if you move from the Arc Gen 1 to the Arc Ultra, it removes the support for the Play 1s and the Play 3s, and you will no longer be able to use the Gen 1 of the Symphonics bookshelf speakers. So do bear that in mind. Alright, so this is a short video which I'm making at the start of the year. It's a slow start for me. I'm planning to do a lot more videos in this year, and most of it will be centered around the Sonos Arc Ultra. I do owe you some best settings video, especially after the updates. I will get to my regular cadence of comparing software updates and evaluating software updates that Sonos puts out when they next release the update. So stay tuned and I'll see you in one of those videos.